Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
What's up, Carmen? And
Not much.
Yeah.
Wait, are my levels being picked up from back here? Yes. Should I lean in more?
Well, you could hear yourself now.
Yeah, true. Okay, cool. I'm doing okay. How you doing, man?
Yeah. I like it like this. You know, like when you speak into like this, because
Like this?
yeah.
Okay, easier to pick up, easier to mix.
Yeah.
Editing, cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't get drowned out by any videos we watch.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody to another
exciting episode of the Terrorisk podcast.
Yeah. Let's see. We could do a movie segment. Start out with a movie segment. I watched a couple movies recently.
What did you watch?
Oh my God, this movie called Dragged Across Concrete.
Oh, that's the guy who it's the guy that's a Craig something Zoller film, I think. Craig S. Zoller.
Yeah.
The guy who directed Bone Tomahawk, which is a fantastic movie.
Oh, really? He did Bone
Yeah.
All right.
Let me see if I got his name right. Did I get his name right?
Dragged across concrete.
Yes, I did. Okay, it's S. Craig Zoller. Yeah, what about it? I haven't seen it meaning to for a long time.
Okay, so this fucking movie, it's Mel Gibson stars in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also Vince Vaughn co-stars, plays his partner. And basically, they play these two cops.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson being the more senior detective with his partner, Vince Vaughn's character. And they're like, their whole thing, the whole spiel of the story is that they get suspended with no pay for police brutality or overuse of force.
Yeah, excessive force.
And they were doing it to like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
So they didn't feel bad, and it wasn't really a good dude, but they got caught on camera, got suspended, and all that shit. Now, the parts that are funny are subtle. They seem like they're like 50% supposed to be subtle, whereas 50% like so fucking on the nose. A good example I'd say would be like there's a scene like there's this side character that dies, but they introduce her as a mother. She just recently gave birth, and she's on her way to work, and she's looking all anxious and nervous, and she eventually skips out on the bus, goes back to the apartment, knocks on her own door, her husband has the door locked with the chain on, and then she's like, why is the chain on? And he's like, you're supposed to be on your way to work. Like, what are you doing? And she's like, yeah, but let me just see our baby just one more time. He's like, the baby will be fine. You're supposed. At first, you get the vibe that she's just crazy, right? But then, like, the conversation goes on, and then he's still like talking to her through the crack in the door, and it's her own husband. He's like, you took 4 months off for maternity leave, and like you have to get back to work. We need the money, and you make way more money than I do. So that's basically like kind of it's basically like taking jabs at all the liberalist, like the woke.
I know everything I've heard about it is that it's a very right-wing film. Also true, frankly, of Bone Tomahawk, which is a fascinating movie. Because it's a movie that depicts Native American brutality while also being very positive about other Native Americans.
Yeah, I saw some of the most brutal scenes on YouTube from that movie. I was like, "There's no way this is really gonna happen." And I saw it. I was like, "Wow,
yeah,
they really
it's great." Well, no, finish about Dragged Across Concrete, and I'll tell you about Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah. So the funniest moments of that movie were the small little jabs they were making against like woke culture or whatever. They were like, like men and women, like who can tell the difference these days? And he's like, I'm pretty sure that line was dead on arrival once men started saying we're pregnant when their wives got pregnant, like and shit, like just those little jabs, and the whole movie was
it's really just probably more liberals in general, but yeah, sorry, go on.
And I was like, I thought it was funny because I mean, like it was just so blatantly on the nose, like I'm just surprised more people weren't bitching about it, but I guess it's like
it's a small release. Frankly, conservatives are pretty pro in their taste, so a lot of conservatives don't even know about the movie.
Yeah.
And also because of a small release, I think libs did. I think another factor is because it's not a big mainstream release, you just don't have a lot of references to it. And oftentimes libs, when encountering something that is unpleasant to their worldview or off-putting, if it's not right in the mainstream, they'll just ignore it, which is a pretty good strategy, frankly, for frame control.
Yeah, for sure. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up losing yourself in some shit you don't like, and it's a waste of
I
energy.
mean, this is drastically different, but like, there's a brief period of time when there was talk about genuine cases of violence against black trans women. These are overly. None of this is. I don't even need to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. None of it's justified, etc., etc. It's an awful thing. Overwhelmingly, there were prostitutes, and you probably can guess the kind of men that were committing violence against them.
Wait, what movie are we talking about?
No, this is just a real. There was a brief period in like the Biden administration where they're talking a bunch about violence against black trans women. You probably can guess who overwhelmingly the perpetrators of that violence were.
Black men.
Yeah, exactly. And something like that, you can mention it, exclude that information, but any investigation into it is just that it's not worth following up on. You can't even press it too far.
Otherwise, it's just gonna nuke your own.
Well, not really. It's like you just ignore it. Conservatives are always like, this will really show them in like they have a fantasy of like a debate club thing where you'll show that they're wrong and they'll be owned, but really they just wisely, it's a good strategy, just ignore it and plow on, or have a variety of deflection methods. But I'm sorry, I'm digressing from this. I've heard that it's distinct for that reason.
Yeah, and
Did you like the movie? Is a more important question. Was it a good movie separately from any culture war discourse debate?
absolutely not. It was a bad. It was a pretty like dull movie. I mean, I like the characters. I think that was the best part. They were like entertaining to watch, but overall, yeah, the movie just wasn't great. What was interesting though, the movie shined a pretty good light on, I'd say, black people. There was one scene where Mel Gibson's daughter, his character's daughter, was just walking home from school and she got assaulted. Like a bunch of black kids were on bikes and one of them throws like a drink at her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's like the most unflattering scene for black people. And I was like, oh, at least it's not racist. It's not like racially right wing, you know?
Yeah, well, I think even that depiction kind of counts it. I don't know. Gran Torino has the ending, honestly, of the boomer Clint Eastwood giving his Gran Torino to his Asian adopted son, and his ungrateful family doesn't appreciate him. But that's a fun movie just because he's racist the whole movie through, and then at the end he stops being racist against Asians, but there's no evidence that he stopped being racist against
Black
blacks
people,
or
yeah, yeah.
Hispanics, which is a great bit. Especially also he's using all these antiquated slurs where in like
Zipperhead.
yeah, no, and he's like, "What are you spooks up to?"
What are you spooks up to?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gran Torino is a classic. I think all the movies, like the right wing movies, have been trying to basically steal the thunder from that kind
I
of.
mean, a bunch of them are like made by evangelicals like that.
Like Mel Gibson.
No, he's not an evangelical. Mel Gibson's like
Catholic.
Yeah, he's Catholic. He's the only competent, like, a very religious filmmaker as part of his significance. But like that movie about sex trafficking, I forgot the name of it. It's with Jim Caviezel or whatever, the guy that plays Christ in The Passion of the Christ.
Okay.
It had some like it did well in like the South, but it wasn't even overly politicized. I mean, it was just feeding, I don't know, a fantasy of like sex trafficking to my knowledge, but it was just like some evangelical movie studio made it.
Someone once sent me a scene from Bone Tomahawk when, because like I was talking a lot about like cultivation of sexual energy, how semen retention can actually make you live longer, more, at least while you're still retaining. And he sent me the scene where the guy was like, "I'm smarter than all of you." He's like, "How do you figure?" He's like, "Well, you're married, right? And you and you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, what happened to your wives?" And it's like, yeah, he's got a good point. Like,
Bone Tomahawk, I think Patrick Wilson's wife is abducted by a cannibal tribe of troglodyte Native Americans. One of the things I really appreciate about the movie is it was very accurate. Well, this is a fantastical tribe, but there's another Native American guy that shows up. He's wearing a suit. They say, "Your people stole him." And he's like, "Don't ever compare us to that tribe of animals. We've been fighting them for a very long time."
yeah.
It was a nice touch, and I forget the character. I don't know, the character's name or depiction was accurate to a whole bunch of Native Americans, even at that time, that were fully westernized within the American culture.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Russell, who also does a great job of playing. Kurt Russell's playing a boomer anti-racist because he calls out is it the guy from Lost, the lead from Lost.
Okay.
That guy is he's racist against Mexicans and Native Americans. There is an I know I'm referencing one scene from Bone Tomahawk here, but Kurt Russell is a period appropriate anti-racist. I think there's a passing line about him being a Republican and an abolitionist.
Okay. That's
But
cool.
but he's still like, it's like, well, we have to rescue this woman from the Indians, and this is obviously the appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
Great role, great performance by him. He does. I was going to say he uses the word bigoted, which would not have been used in that way at that time. At the time, bigoted meant like a church marm, like a lady that's very uptight and judgy. He said what people said when they were referring to racism and other bigotries at the time of the 19th century. They said prejudiced.
Yeah.
Not prejudiced against Negroes would be like a polite statement someone would make.
Yeah. Well, Bone Tomahawk. I gotta check that out. Even if it is gruesome, I gotta sit through the whole fucking movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. I mean, I know you're not big on gore, but I really appreciate its use of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. It's
I did
also
see-
it's very much most westerns that have been made since the 70s, or really possibly a lot of significant ones from the 60s and 50s, are revisionist westerns, which means that the western is a very old genre. Like some of the earliest films are westerns, and it was popular even before film because you used to have Wild
Books.
West shows and books. Yeah, like as it was going on, people were already mythologizing the West. And there was a far more comic book morality form of it that existed from like 1880s until 1950s in pop culture. A revisionist western, particularly like all these Sergio Leone westerns, for instance.
Spaghetti westerns?
Yeah. Those are all revisionists because you have these anti-hero protagonists. It's grimy, it's gritty. There's questions of whether the villain is that different from the protagonist, such as the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Lee Van Cleef, no, but everyone else, there's a question of which one is which. Obviously, Clint Eastwood's still the hero. He's the good of it, but he's a very ambiguous good. He's primarily individually motivated. And the Mexican guy, who is played by Eli Vanch, something like that. And he was a Jewish guy that was playing the Mexican in it. Is sleazy and self-serving, but he's not a villainous person.
Yeah.
I'm rambling here, but anyway, almost every Western that we think of as a Western, even like big ones like True Grit, the original, also the remake, or The Searchers count as it because they're more morally ambiguous.
Yeah.
Bone Tomahawk actually in many ways feels like a traditional Western in terms of morality, but it's vastly more complicated and obviously has a bunch of horror elements to it. It's a horror Western. But in some ways, it's closer to an older pre-spaghetti Western.
I see.
But it's still, revisionist because it's a horror movie and there's like all these questions about what's morally wrong and right in it. Anyway, go see Bone Tomahawk in the 10 theaters it was playing in 2017.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'll check it out. Bone Tomahawk. How's the music? Is the score good?
Yeah, the score is good. I mean, it's all ominous strings and things, and like not even that. There's also some very good sound effects. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I think electronic stuff, things that is very eerie.
Yeah.
Actually, sound design is great because the troglodyte tribe have embedded flutes in their throats, and they make these weird sounds. They sound like bull roars, kind of. Those things that you would swing on a string and it would make a noise.
That's pretty cool. All right, so yeah, it's a nice little detail. I'll check it out. I hope I didn't spoil it too bad. I hope I'll still see that scene and be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as another notable thing, it wasn't a movie, but it was the show called 0 Day.
How was it? What is it? It's about?
It's really not that good at all, but It's kind of sad actually because it stars Robert De Niro, and it's a show about a 0-day attack that happened across like all of America. Like it shut down. Like
One massive strike. Yeah.
yeah, and like thousands and thousands of people died. And Robert De Niro plays like the former president, like and a former president, and he's called in to head a task force that's basically has the authority to like ignore habeas corpus and shit.
Yeah.
And to really hunt down the 0-day. They call it the 0-day committee. And Robert De Niro, man, he just fell off. And also, like, I'm really getting tired of narratives involving the president and the Oval Office and like that kind of shit. I mean, the last one that I saw that I actually enjoyed, it wasn't even House of Cards. It was the Designated Survivor with what's his name, Kiefer Sutherland, I think.
I haven't heard of it, but yeah, it really worked well in the '90s with Air Force One.
Yeah, because yeah. Well, that had Harrison Ford. You know,
Yeah.
he's like the man.
He's played the president several times. I think that. Obviously, in the Captain America: New World Order, the much reshot, controversially, though not really at all, pro-Israeli. It wasn't even pro-Israeli to my knowledge. It was the latest MCU film that just had a huge amount of reshoots and edits.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, as far as other genres go that I still enjoy, I think my favorite one is probably going to be like spy movies, spy thrillers. I like that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I also like spy thrillers because some of them are clearly propaganda, like on like some deep level, not like
Just a generalized, the CIA are heroes kind of thing.
yeah. Or not even like CIA are heroes, but more like, yeah, we're sociopaths and this is our job. You know, that's like the modern take now.
That
It's
is the modern take. It's a very nihilistic, it's very modern warfare, like Black Ops, modern warfare to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Is the government agency saying we're the bad guys and there's no other option. It's very, this is all out of our control kind of thing, where this is just our job or this is just the nature of things. It is inevitable. There is no way to imagine an alternative to it.
yeah, and they could be right.
Yeah. There is something, it's propaganda that is in fact celebrating how badass or cold they are.
Yeah, I mean,
Sicario is a great movie, but this has a similar quality.
well, the things that interest me that are usually like showcased heavily on spy movies and spy thrillers is it's the psychological dynamics at play or that are being portrayed. Like a lot of that stuff is based on like real human dynamics, social dynamics and stuff like that, and manipulation of such dynamics to be able to like develop assets, basically snitches, informants.
Yeah, how do you project the idea of snitches get bitches?
Well, it's also like how they operate, right? What they'll do is a lot of times you'll see a case where a case officer will get dirt on a guy, and they use them as a tool. And basically, what you develop an asset so you could eventually like use up that asset, whether it means at the end of it they end up like cut loose or dead or whatever, and then you use them to get closer to your actual target or the actual bigger gun. Like you use a little gun, use it once, pick up a bigger gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like in a video game, you keep upgrading.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That is pretty much how you develop quote unquote assets, whether we're talking about human assets or whether we're talking about like any assets really. But yeah, that's so and then
Were you a fan of the Bourne series?
the Bourne series.
I like the first one. The other ones are all right. I find the editing very tedious, very much of its time, but
Yeah, I didn't.
The fight choreography is just atrocious with how many cuts it does. But all the scenes where he's walking around talking on a phone and saying, "I'm just outside your window," those are decently shot.
Yeah, I agree. I like.
I like the first one the most because it has actual steady cam usage.
I'm more of a Bond guy. I think.
Yeah.
I like James Bond.
What do you think of the purchase by Amazon?
Amazon bought James Bond.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna make a TV show.
Yeah. I'm assuming aesthetically it's going to be copying from John Wick because I feel that is very contemporary now that all action things are in a John Wick style. I liked all those movies, but really the first one is revelatory in the way that the others are retreads or tediously dragging it out.
John Wick.
Yeah.
Well, John Wick is
Increasingly fanciful, whereas the first one just holds together so well.
Yeah, we talked about John Wick before. I
Yeah,
think.
we have.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to retread this ground, but yeah.
No. I was just thinking, like, yeah, that we talked about the progression of like the world building and how that kind of flowed out. It was pretty cool. I think if Amazon did James Bond though, they would probably make it. Well, that's gonna be expensive. That's tough shit because
They have huge amounts of money that throw out TV series for whatever effect. I don't know.
maybe they'll do a movie. You're right. Maybe it'll be a movie instead. I didn't like Amazon's Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, how? Yeah, with Dong Glover.
Yeah,
Dong Glover.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Dong lover. All right. So we could move on to the silly shit, I guess. Let's see. What was the whole thing about Kanye West and Waves again?
Oh, I was just thinking of the song. It had come to my mind. We were playing IRA, insisted on playing it in your car earlier tonight.
Yeah.
There is no grand significance, just that I was listening to it and thinking about it.
I was actually talking about Kanye West before. You were the one who told me that on he had a Super Bowl commercial where
Yeah. Go on.
he just put his like URL up. He's like, go to my website.
No. He was in the dentist chair, huffing nitrous, and he's like leaning back, recording his iPhone. He's like, I spent all my budget on getting all my money on getting the slot, so go to Yeezy.com. And then when you go to Yeezy.com, it's just selling a swastika t-shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say instead of swastika t-shirts, he should have angled for like just put Hitler's paintings on a t-shirt, like no captions.
I like that actually too. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
It's a great idea.
That's
right?
a great signal. Just having a Hitler painting on a t-shirt.
And I was compelled to like.
Damn, you should make that merchandise. Genuinely, that's brilliant.
And you know, I came up with this last night on the stream, and I was like, it made me compelled me to look up the paintings too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he was basically saying like the technical specialists of the time were like deeming it was missing some technical quality or something. Basically, the major critics and like art critics and stuff. And I looked at the paintings and I was like, all right, so it's probably just missing contrast. You know, like
Yeah.
there was really no like.
I think he was recommended for architectural school, which probably would have fit him a lot better. I don't know if he would have gone into architectural school, but definitely his interest would have leaned in that direction.
Yeah, Hitler could have been a great painter, but he chose the easy path.
No, I don't know if he was. He was a great artist, one of the greatest artists of all time, but painting really wasn't his medium. As a performance artist, just absolutely incredible. The fact, and this is not irony, this is not edgelord Nazism, I mean sincerely, that he was able to turn himself into the secular Satan, and as an emblem, an icon, he is so prominent and prevalent. It's like the greatest performance possible.
Well, I was
Just like David Bowie said, he was the first superstar, the first rock star.
Yeah. I just got that quote. I forgot where it was from, this like satirical Twitter account. And it was just, when I first read it, like, it was one of those things. You feel like you get fucked by words. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like Hitler could have been a great painter, but he chose the easy path in life.
I don't know. I think he took the grander leap. Have you ever seen the movie Max? It's not a great movie, but have you seen it?
No.
It's with John Cusack and someone else. It's about Hitler being an aspiring artist and a Jewish art dealer who takes him under his wing. And it's about Weimar Germany and like Hitler's the early part of his rise to power. It's silly in a bunch of ways, though it's also fairly historically accurate. John Cusack as the cabaret-esque Weimar Germany promoter or publisher, whatever, maybe, I don't know, art dealer who befriends Hitler based on a real guy, a real dynamic.
Well, maybe if Hitler did pursue more art, he could have come to New York, around the time. Like,
I think it's Under the Iron Dream or Under the Iron Fist. There's a 70s sci-fi novel. The premise of it is that Hitler moved to America in the 40s and he became a sci-fi pulp author.
that's awesome.
And so the book is formatted both as an alternate history.
Like a autobiography or something.
No. It is the original Hitler text, which is this silly pulp story that is clearly referencing.
Oh, so it's like meta.
So there's a book within the book.
Yeah,
the book within the book, and then there's a Jewish publisher and sci-fi fan who is commenting on it and saying Under the Iron Fist, look up Under the Iron Fist or Under the Iron Dream. He's commenting on the tackiness of this 1930s 1940s Flash Gordon pulp series.
Under the Iron Cross.
No, it's under me. Iron Dream, Iron Fist. Fuck. This is embarrassing that I'm forgetting the name of it.
Under the Iron Dome.
No, look up the Iron Dream or look up Hitler sci-fi author. Just do that.
Hitler sci-fi.
Yeah, that does it. The Iron Dream.
Okay.
Look up images, the Iron Dream. But anyway, in addition to it, the meta-narrative is that the sci-fi author is referencing the current state of the Cold War. Because the Cold War is still going on.
Oh, this is cool art.
Yeah. And it's things like it's America against communist Germany and the USSR. And America is allied with Japan and Japan's colony or Manchukuo. So So America is allied with the Empire of Japan against the Soviet Union.
Okay.
So it's an alternative Cold War that America is fighting. And within the novel, there's Hitler's sci-fi fantasy pulp story. Go down to that one over there. Third row down on the left, far left.
Norman Spinrad.
There you go. That's the author's name. It's decent. It's a fun novel.
Yeah, that's cool. Something worth reading, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So a little book recommendation for all you fine listeners. Yeah, so Hitler. If Hitler came to New York as an artist.
Oh, and it mentions how if you go to a comic book convention, because they were starting up at the time, or sci-fi conventions, you had people dressed as Nazis because they were just pulp characters.
That's funny.
From his novel, and it's about in part the cultural impact Hitler's writings have upon American sci-fi culture.
Yeah. I think the guy who wrote Man in the High Castle seriously believed in his shit too, right?
Yeah, Philip K. Dick. He was really deranged due to amphetamine abuse and psychedelic abuse.
Yeah. We're basically talking about significant men throughout history who just lost their shit because they gained way too much power, perhaps way too fast. I know someone like that personally. I won't mention it, but Kanye West is another example.
Yeah.
And the question,
a lot of money, and also he went just mentally ill or declined due to nitrous.
Yeah, but I think that comes
also being bipolar. But yes,
well, I think that
didn't he just replace his teeth with titanium? Please go on.
Maybe being bipolar actually helps you get rich and succeed in business in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it makes sense. It would.
And also, when you finally get to that point where there's no one left to fight. There's no battles left. There's no bridges left to burn because you already won. You got your hundreds of millions, and even that's not enough. But still, I digress. You already got rich, and it's like then all you can really do after that point is spiral out. Because when you're bipolar and trying to make it, you're limited by your limited resources, your limited social parameters, your limited networks because you're not there yet.
Yeah.
But once you get there and you keep that lizard brain intact, you're going to end up in some fucked up situations without even meaning to, before you know it, right? Because you're going to be what wrong can I do? I got here purely by my own genius and power and talent and wit. And then, suddenly you have millions of dollars thinking that way, hundreds of millions, and you get fucked. You fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a lot of it has to do with just the dynamics of, say, capitalism. How, like, yeah, if you're starting from like zero, like if you're starting from like just a regular schmuck, to get rich, to become new money, because you're not old money, you can't be old money. You can only become new money, and to become new money, you just have to become like a fucking psycho.
On a certain level. A
How
bunch
many
of
how many people do you know that have honestly, just by honest, no bullshit, no monkey business effort, got rich?
Yeah, because most people I know are from like crypto cons and then a bunch of programming people. And then my boss.
But even them, most of them, 90% of the time, they don't get rich. They well,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
Definitely the crypto bullshit, no. But definitely some people are real psychos. Other people, I think, particular level. I think maybe psychos are overrepresented because they're better at getting rich among the broader population of rich people.
Well, that's what
There's
I'm saying.
a bunch of level-headed,
I don't think so.
round. I think there are. I bet if you are a guy who runs a cattle business, some manufacturing for I don't know something or another, the Midwest.
So let me like clarify. I'm saying like new money is very
yeah,
hard.
that'd be new money people. Yeah,
I mean, it's
they'll
hard.
have terrible taste. I'll agree, but
No, I think I don't know. Like usually, because like when we're talking about industries, like America, like titans of industry, all that shit is locked up. It's been locked up for the past like 100 or so years. You know, it's been kept in the same families for like years and years and years. The only people who get rich in industry are like disruptors, and they're still new money technically. Then, right? Oh, or
Well,
it's either
depends
their
on
new
how they grow up.
Exactly. It's either their new money or they started old money. So it's not even like yeah, I do think like it's pretty much extinct. Like the level-headed, resourceful, and like efficient.
I think there's a bunch of people like that, but they're all mere millionaires.
Yeah, exactly. They're not actually rich. Like,
Well, that's rich.
no, it's not. $4 million. You think that's rich?
No, that's something you get as being a boomer with like property.
No, I mean even if you started as a millennial or a Zoomer and you blew up with some startup or something and you walked away with like $4 million to your name, like that's not.
It's normal there's normal person rich and there's fantastic rich, right?
I don't
Like there's a lot of normal people rich who are like, I mean, also it's not liquid necessarily if it's in property, but people who have a bunch of assets, they have passive income.
I think 10 million in assets is like normal rich.
Okay, there's a bunch of people like that are pretty normal.
Okay.
Is my theory. And then you get stranger characters. You get richer and richer, perhaps.
Yeah. No, well, also,
But I think people underestimate how many millionaires are someone who has, a successful business with 50 employees, but really they made money on property. A lot of those people are pretty normal. Maybe they're higher energy or hard driving, but most of the time, it depends on where you go. Like in New York City, there's a bunch of boomer guys like that who made a bunch of money, new money. They're not fantastically wealthy, but they're well off. Enough to be a millionaire for sure, and enough to have passive income that's consistent.
yeah. I guess you're right. Maybe I'm painting with too wide of a brush for sure. But
Well, the thing also is that a lot of rich people don't like that kind of millionaire next door. I mean, they're just they don't have enough money to publicize themselves, but they're also often not that inclined to do so. The number of even among the truly greatest, richest people, like we know the names of a couple of billionaires, but there's a bunch of billionaires who are successful and probably relatively boring. I'm sure if we pulled up a list of 50 billionaires, we would recognize maybe 8-10 names on the list. And the other people are not nefarious shadow people. It's just a guy who, I mean, man, maybe there's something fishy there financially, but
I mean,
when you read about their personality, it's like, okay, this is a pretty normal dude.
I don't know. I think to reach billionaire, you have to have something different about you. You know.
Maybe a particular level of drive. Definitely bipolar among the very rich makes sense. Entertainers, especially. Entertainers more so than other. I think entertainers are more likely to be bipolar or to have deranged personalities, but you also have various millionaires that do.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think a lot of realtors are fucking crazy, to be honest.
That's fair. My boss is a great guy. Um, he's a like normal, like he seems hypomanic, where he's just like constantly buzzing with energy, and he's an incredibly nice guy. Most of his money came from like just buying property at the right time, and he's not. He probably boasts he's not that bright of a guy, but that he's very wealthy by my standards, not by real wealth standards, but still. That seems like a pretty common archetype. It reminds me of my own dad, except my dad never became famously well. Not my dad never became a normal person wealthy.
Yeah.
But his personality reminded me of a lot of people that were normal person wealthy.
Okay. Not quite an oligarch, but
Not quite, not an oligarch. Someone who is at best, well, I don't know, maybe they'll donate hundreds of dollars to the political party of their choice, but they're not, and they might have some influence on local election or politics, but they're not a grand master of the world.
yeah.
There's a huge number of people like that. There's a huge number, a decent number of people like that.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean,
But no, there's also a lot of strange personalities. Obviously, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos are unique personalities in a bunch of ways. I find it fascinating that Bezos going on TRT, getting a busted Latina wife, and then just living his life as the most Cuban man possible is a fascinating turn.
so what would you say are like some of the key things, key factors in maintaining your sanity on your way to getting rich?
Are we talking about super rich or regular rich here?
Like 100 mil.
Definitely being a high energy person. Probably there's sometimes maybe bipolar.
No, I mean,
But-
what would help you stay sane on that?
Stay sane. Frankly, probably a rootedness, a connection. I know that Warren Buffett lives in a house. Well, allegedly, I don't know if it's true. Lives in a house they bought back in the 70s. I'm sure meditation, various other discipline like that, will do a lot for it. Other things for staying sane as someone who's fabulously wealthy.
Religion?
Yeah, religion for sure. Yes, would definitely do a lot, and also to keep.
It's
you
definitely, I
humble.
mean, definitely not marriage.
I guess if you marry the right woman, yes, probably marrying the right woman actually does a lot there.
No, I think when it comes to marriage, it's like more money, more problems.
Yeah, that makes sense a lot of the time. What do you think are key factors to be like 100 millionaire?
Honestly, this is why I asked, because I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue how if it were me, if I had $100 million in liquid
Yeah.
assets.
In liquid assets,
Oh.
I mean, people who are like billionaires, I don't know if they have 100 mil in liquid.
Okay, so 100 million assets,
Yeah.
just in general. I would, to stay sane, I would. Fuck, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I had $100 million, what would I even want to do? Well, I would want to definitely train in martial arts every day.
Yeah.
I would want to, have a motorcycle, right? Build up a nice car, and I want to build things. I want to make things, and
It would also keep you grounded physically and in the real world.
yeah. So I would care a lot about crafts, and then I would also want to build like a studio or something.
Yeah. A friend of mine who's like a surrogate uncle, he's, I think, in like 10, 11 something million assets range. Older guy, tall, Jewish. I don't want to say too much personal details. He's very grounded and has given me a lot of good advice in my life, which is why I say he's like a surrogate uncle, especially after my dad died. He's taking on that role. He doesn't have kids of his own.
Yeah.
His money he made from good stock choices and real estate. And he's a very smart guy because his regular job, which he still does, is in the sciences, the applied sciences, and I'll leave it at that. He had a regular job, stock, real estate. He's relatively together, and he's still in great shape for a man in his 60s. He works out all the time. He's considerate of his health. Looks great for his age, white hair and all. He, as an inspirational figure, he's had so many ups and downs in his life. He's very focused on maintaining a lot of ritual stability, and he gets on my case about having enough money saved up, staying in shape, and not abusing substances too much. Those were his three advice to me. Oh, and also that I should. How is he putting it about giving me relationship advice? About so the standard almost pickup artist line of, if you're in a room with 20 women, do not focus on the one you're most interested in. Focus on the ones that are most interested in you if they pass your basic standards.
Okay, that's good.
I was like, yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. I said, if you're just focusing on what you want as opposed to which woman wants you, you're always going to be unhappy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to like being solid, I mean, the old school ways of thinking definitely do help.
Yeah.
And substances, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, he said that if I was going to give you advice on how to fail, I would say, don't work out, abuse substances, and fuck. And I don't know, don't think of the future or be responsible towards the future.
Yeah, don't steal happiness from your future self.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see shit like that.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder where I'm going to be in like 15 years.
I'll be 50 in 15 years. Damn.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'll be all right. Especially considering like I've really learned the past couple of years like what's actually important in life and whatnot. I started appreciating family a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like ritual wellness, ritual self-care kind of stuff. And I don't mean like masturbating all day while watching chick flicks. I mean like exercising and eating right and all that shit.
Yeah.
And now I'm embarking on this new journey of really letting go of alcohol, kind of,
Really permanently, or you think just temporarily?
No, I think if I'm offered a drink by like my dad, I'll probably take it. Or if I'm at a wedding, I'll probably maybe abuse the open bar a little. I have a wedding.
What
to go
if
to
it's
soon.
like you're going out on the town with friends, but as opposed to just drinking at home alone?
No, I don't think because like I haven't been quote unquote out drinking with friends
In a while. Yeah.
No, I do it, just not like the way I used to do it.
Yeah.
Like with a bunch of friends, it's always with like one person, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even happen that often for me to really miss it if I stop doing that. The only thing that would really be different is me spending a lot less money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that much from the get-go, but still there's that. And also I'm looking forward to how it would affect my physical health.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Obviously losing weight and also being just general better physical health.
Hells yeah. And that'll be interesting and I think it's going to make, I don't see it now, but it's probably going to make like some significant gradual shift eventually. Like I'm just going to look back and I'm going to be like, wow, all this from like not drinking, I don't know what those things will be, but
That's a good point. Yeah. This is the start of your sobriety arc.
Maybe you could call it sobriety. I'm still going to be smoking weed and shit. It's just, I got a really
Dry arc.
I got really bored of alcohol, of drinking, And it was funny because like today I made the decision to like go with it. And then right after that, like I got into some internet beef and someone was calling me an alcoholic. I was like, like 2 hours ago, I probably would have had no choice but to agree with you. But like, you picked the wrong time for this. Like,
how much were you drinking before?
Not a lot. I mean, mainly it was always like after sundown. So it was usually because I would like go out
Mm-hmm.
And it would usually be there would be some kind of social context behind it. Like I podcast 1 to 2 times a week, so we would drink. Then I go to the dojo two times a week, and after class we like to drink. And then there's the weekend. If I were to hang out with a friend, usually
So you're having multiple drinks every single night, or almost every single night.
almost every single night. Yeah, and I don't know. It just got kind of tiresome.
Mhm.
And it's also like my tolerance is really, really high now. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I even doing? I'd have to drink a lot if I really want to get party drunk. And I don't want to do that
Yeah,
because at a bar, you'll be spending fucking way too much.
that's true. Yeah, you're buying at bars for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like you want to like invite a bunch of people over to get hammered like every time you hang out.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm curious to see like what I inevitably put my extra time towards. And I think it's going to be music. I think I'm definitely going to get back into making music.
That's
more.
good.
Yeah. And that's probably going to happen. And I'm probably going to just not really promote my music. I'm just going to make like genre specific stuff so it gets picked up on playlists easier. But I'm also this is all just I guess like stuff I could do with the extra chi. But I want to see if I could start like making video essays or just videos, like not like
Yeah.
a podcast format, like just
That'd be interesting. And editing it, dicing it tightly. A lot of video essays go very long.
yeah.
I know that's due to the monetization nature of YouTube. But
Yeah,
still,
it could be like the length of a movie.
or multiple movies.
Yeah.
A video essay on Oblivion that goes on for 9 hours.
Yo, I love those videos. Remember the guy I showed you? I was like, this is you. Like,
Yeah,
he's got your archetype, your energy. But yeah, I love that guy. He was born to write essays.
Mm-hmm.
But have you been journaling still?
Yes. Not regular, not every single day, but yes.
Yeah. Is it becoming? Is like, I mean,
Yeah, it is. It's I'm not at an every single day level yet.
No, I mean, if you're still doing it, that's cool. It's just, has it been making any like changes?
Maybe I'm not fully letting myself go too often, just writing down feelings about things. But I think it's having a gradual cumulative effect. But it's definitely not a huge shift for me, to be honest.
That sounds about right. It should be. I mean, just the more consistently do it, the faster like things change.
It might take me a little while, a couple of months to get there if I'm doing it every third day.
Yeah. I mean,
But that's also when significant things are happening.
yeah. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, I don't know. I would like to enlist your help in writing some like material for videos and stuff. It's just I gotta figure out where I'm gonna post it. I don't know if I should use the Terrorisk YouTube or make a fresh channel.
Use the Terrorisk YouTube so it connects with everything else would be my suggestion.
Okay, that makes sense. And then there's also
It might become more noteworthy for video essays than for the podcast itself, which would just be a writer, even though it's the mother of it.
yeah, and I think I also have to work more on the website, Terrorisk Works, so that I could get the blog like full steam. Shit, I picked a good time to stop drinking. Like this is it. Like this is I pretty much know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, this hopefully for all the longtime subscribers of Terrorisk, we'll get some evolved forms of content from us, which would be nice. But as for what we write about, I suppose we could do like movies. Movies would be a hot topic.
Yeah. I don't know. I can come up with something.
No, this is what we're gonna do. All right,
What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
we're gonna get a bag or like a sock or a hat or something.
And it'll come in it. You'll mail it to your other hosts and have them come at it in their remote residence and then send it back to you.
I can't. Totally. Yeah. So what you got to do is we got to write on multiple strips of paper, like different topics that we like. Like we don't just have to think of one. We'll just write like a whole list,
Yeah.
and we'll throw them all in the thing, and we each pull one randomly,
Yeah.
and that's the topic. Categories.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, you're into that.
Yes, I am.
Good. So we'll do it. It's done. Consider it done. So we'll do it after the after the recording, and I'll just write it down real quick, and we'll start pulling. And I'll probably get mine done first. I mean, actually, then again, you could probably get yours done first before me. I don't know. We really because it's just sitting down like in writing, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I do a lot. Well, yeah.
Yo, don't be afraid to like use like AI tools and shit. You know,
You're right. Yeah.
you don't even have
Because everyone is now.
yeah, you don't even have to use it to write it. You could just be like, give me a format. Give me like a framework for how this should be, how the layout should work. Like this part first, this part next, this part next. And once you write the piece, then I could make a video essay. And we have a blog post. So that's like 2 fronts of content.
What if we had a podcast where we had an AI host that we just typed into ChatGPT or whatever a question and had the AI as the third host?
Yeah, plenty of people have done that.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's even like podcasts where it's like 2 AI talking each other. I think there's one that's like Zizek and Foucault, I think.
Interesting.
No, maybe not. Maybe that wasn't it. It's like the infinite debate.
That's fitting. But anyway, so it's not a new field to have an AI companion on a podcast. Interesting.
Okay, welcome.
Oh, Werner Herzog.
Yeah.
I think the big problem with these superhero movies is that they really carry a deep truth and vision. It's hard to admit. You see, because I write screenplays and know that the most difficult thing in screenwriting is to find an inner character. Like, who is this person inside of me? Who is this character and what does this character have to say? What does he want and how does he act out his destiny? When I read, for example, the comics of Batman and then I look at the movie by Christopher Nolan, I must say that I feel and recognize more deeply the essence of the character in this than in any other version.
Yeah, so it's stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. Can I hear Zizek's response? Also, this already doesn't sound like Herzog. I mean, it has his voice, but it doesn't have his actual writing tone.
I'll tell you why. Maybe, this old joke about the guy who loses his wallet, but then he loses it again and again. So someone tells him, why don't you improve your luck? Why don't you throw it in the water and use it for the last time? And he says, no, the last time will be the worst because then I will be desperate. I need the hope that maybe it will happen a third or a fourth time. We are similar. You like Batman movies and I like these movies. Why? Because they are editorialized. They are not simply another movie.
I feel like one or
Nolan's
both of them would
Megalopolis is the
disagree
greatest
just
movie
for the
our
sake of
time.
it.
What do you think about
I don't know. This is often when you're trying to replicate a certain artist, like a critic or a director or what have you, about a work of media. The AI tends to having a generalized favorable form of it. I don't know what weighting factors are involved in that, but
Yeah, well, that's kind of how that would work. And what I mean, now that I'm now thinking about like fiction writing and like character development, character crafting, world building, and I think I could get the hang of that. The truth is, I just don't know how I'd want to manifest it, like a novel, a comic book, a short story or whatever. Maybe I should start with a short story just to get my writing chops back up and running. But yeah,
it doesn't have the actual. I don't know. This is blaming me perhaps to criticize. I don't know this way. I understand it's just the audio is fantastic, but it's not capturing the actual essence or spirit of these people. It's just a very surface level imitation of them.
Yeah.
Which is obvious, whatever. But
yeah, I could have told you that. I should have mentioned that. Like this is
that's fair for her.
It's not good, like it's just
it isn't, but it's intriguing.
Yeah, it's just neat, But yeah, let's see. Do you think you'd be good at making characters?
No.
Why?
I think I have trouble being any character except myself or imagining any character. Oh, well, one thing would be just copying or imitating a person I've met. In which case, then yes, or adapting a person I met, maybe. But any more whole. But then again, how many writers actually even do that for their characters? You actually invent someone whole cloth. That I can't have trouble doing, or even writing in a voice that's not mine.
But you're good at world building?
No, I'm not at that either. But I'm okay at it.
So when it comes
Still intriguing.
Okay, so when it comes to like any factor of like fiction writing, what would you say is your wheelhouse?
Most of what I've written was just posts online. So any dynamic around trolling, comedy, or argument I can do.
Oh, like dialogue?
I can try. Never written dialogue between fictional characters or really any fiction at all.
You never wrote any fiction at all, ever?
A little bit or tried as in various points, but I've never really spent a prolonged period of time doing it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people have told me I seem like a fiction writer or a writer at all.
I've done quite a few writing, like quite a bit of writing, for school. I think looking back, I think that was my favorite academic
Pursuit?
no academic
Activity?
no
Requirement? Study?
no. Study, I guess.
Yeah.
Or subject. Yeah, academic subject was literature, English lit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just really easy for me to grasp like literary concepts, words, and like grammar. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I started reading at the right age or something. I don't know.
Probably, yes.
But as for writing, yeah. So I want to try this out with you, man. Like I want to try to maybe I'll write characters
Okay.
and some semblance of a world, and you could write dialogue between them and see how you do. Like I'll tell you what the characters are
Like
about.
a Marvel method thing, but for literature.
I don't know how the Marvel method works.
I know. It's like there was one writer for the dialogue and the other for the artistry, and they were both going off of a vague plot point. I don't even know if that's true, but I think it's something they hyped up.
Oh, like an illustrator and a
It's
writer.
just the method. Yeah, exactly, of how they did things. But go on.
Yeah, so we could try that out. I mean, it's pretty easy, especially if you know like basic frameworks for like starters and how you could start it. Like making a character is just pretty much making up a human, making up a person.
Yeah.
And usually it's like what you said before, like copying a person, but a little more complicated. Like usually an amalgamation of different traits from like archetypes or people. And that's another thing that helps you build characters. It's archetypes. Like if you're conscious and aware and schooled on archetypes, then writing characters becomes a lot easier. And archetypes are everywhere. You just have to fucking learn them. You just have to learn the archetypical sets.
Well, that I'm all very familiar with, just because of
Exactly.
my compulsive categorization of things.
Exactly. And that's usually what happens is like people who never tried making characters before have this compulsive personal attachment to the characters. Like basically they're so focused on projecting enough of themselves, which is, as you know, makes sense. But however, if you know archetypes, if you know the categories, and you're actually very knowledgeable about that, that's what you should go off of, and not just like your own traits, because when you start mixing in like archetypes and then your own traits, you essentially make just people, just that's just a regular character, like for example, you could call an archetype like the traumatized hero or the
TV tropesification of everything.
not even just
Just a similar mindset of archetypes, and yes.
yeah, there's the hero, there's the magician, the fool. You could use all sorts of frameworks. You could use tarot, you could use like
It does provide a structure, a bones of the story or of character development that everything follows from.
yeah, and it's also becomes easier when you understand story structure, much like how you could understand song structure to help you write songs. Like, if you don't know anything about song structure, you're going to be like, where the fuck do I start? And you're just going to like nibble on tug on any end and start from there. If you've done it for a bit, then you're going to know like, okay, so a song typically has, if I want to make like a catchy tune, like an earworm, it's got to be a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Same thing with stories. Like you have your acts, like 3 acts. You have your scenes within the act
structure,
and then you have a story circle structure, which is like I showed you that before.
Yeah, I'm familiar. It's all in the power of myth.
Yeah,
So all Star Wars is being like the platonic ideal of it.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Pull it up.
It's apparently called Dan Harmon's story circle. But
Oh yeah, he's referencing this other thing in writing. But yes, or
The monomyth, basically.
Yeah, monomyth. Yeah.
So if you, this is what I'm saying. Like fiction becomes suddenly like really easy to write
Yes.
if you understand like the bones of a story. Let's see. I'm just googling. Okay, here we go. Images. Boom. The hero's journey.
Yeah. Joseph Campbell, The
That's
Power
what-
of Myth,
that's-
coming from Carl Jung.
That's
too.
what it was. I forgot. That's what it was biting off of. That's what Dan Harmon,
Yeah, as a big fan of. Yeah.
The hero's journey. Okay, so the reason why this is interesting, if you're following, is that if you see this map and you remember and you like learn this map,
Jordan Peterson, but yeah.
every story essentially follows this.
Yeah.
And no matter what story you read, and it's like it doesn't have to, but if it's a coherent story, it's going to follow some semblance of this framework. So just to break it down, like this is you start at the top, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
You get a call to adventure, like let's say your girlfriend gets kidnapped, or you get called to save the princess,
Or you're the chosen one.
or you're the chosen one.
Or something like
get
even just happenstances put you in a situation where you're outside of the norm of your life.
Or yeah, like you go on a school trip or something to a
Yeah.
science lab or something. Then you
You get
get
abducted.
Well, that's
a kindly
wait.
wizard-
That's skipping. Then we get to supernatural aid. That is like getting bit by the spider, getting abducted, or
yeah.
like
Oh, I see. Yeah.
yeah. Something happens to you. Then you reach the threshold. Once you reach the threshold, you could either cross from the known into the unknown, or you just go right back, with the gift of the goddess, and then you return, and it doesn't make much of a
Yeah.
story. So when you cross into the unknown, the threshold, the beginning of transformation, this is where you meet a helper, like your sidekick or your group or your merry band or whatever.
Yeah.
After you get your supernatural aid, there you come with the sword into a village at the start of your journey, and like the guy sees you, he's like, "It's a fancy sword you got there." It's like, could you spare a few coins? Oh, you don't want to mess with him. He's the blah 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 blah. And then with the helper, they get into a pickle, and this is where they meet the mentor, like the Gandalf type character
Yeah.
or something or whatever. Then they go through challenges and temptations, which is like, I guess, like bad guys and, opportunities to do dark things. Then you meet another helper, which is going to be like the next companion in your group. So you have your helper, your mentor, then you meet another helper. Then you have the abyss, death and rebirth. This is like basically the lowest point of your journey. This
Yeah.
is where it's the hardest. And I would say one of the most typical manifestations of this in a story is the death of the mentor. So you cross.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi dies. I keep mentioning Star Wars because the original film is such a perfect format of this.
Yeah. Okay. We could use that as like the like a superimposed example. So Obi-Wan's dead. That's the abyss, death and rebirth, the worst thing Luke Skywalker could possibly go through on his journey. But then after that, they get away, and then they go through Luke's transformation. This is when he actually transforms into a full-on like Jedi Knight,
Yeah.
and or actually accepts his role as a force sensitive being.
Except his role as the hero going on the journey. But yeah.
Yeah. Then there's the atonement, which is like, I'm pretty sure where you failed before, you
Yeah.
succeed this time.
Yes.
So that's like, it's like,
A very succinct way of putting it. Yes.
it's like, can I do it this time?
It's after watching Obi-Wan, helplessly watching as Obi-Wan dies, he nukes the Death Star. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go on to the return, which is like, let's fly on home, boys. And then you go cue the celebration.
It's the medals being handed out sequence. Yeah.
And then we reset the second movie.
Yeah.
So it's a circle. So this is the if you know this whole thing, like if you understand this pattern, you could put your own fucking spin on any factor of it. Like you could basically write your own story with this. You could swap that character with yourself. You could swap that character with a made up character. You could swap it with a historical figure and write some alt history story. You could do whatever you want. Just it has to follow. It doesn't have to follow this exact pattern, but if it does, you're gonna be guaranteed to have a resonating story. because this is what people want from a story.
Yeah.
They want all these phases. They want to see the character go through these phases in some way, whether it ends, you know, good for them or bad for them. It has to like kind of resolve in like this shape. So yeah, I don't know. I would want you to like see this and like kind of tell yourself, it's like, yeah, maybe I could write a story. You
That's
know?
true. I want to take a break if you don't mind.
Yeah, we could take a quick recess. And we are back.
We're back with another exciting episode of the Terrorisk podcast. This is my co-host, Chris Kim. How's it going tonight, Chris? Nice to see you here.
Good, man. Good. Let's see.
Hero's Journey, yeah.
Nah, well, Hero's Journey.
We were talking about it just now, yeah, but yeah.
What kind of, if you made a story, would your protagonist be a male or a female?
A male, obviously. I have no idea how to write women. I don't understand them. I barely interact with them outside of work.
Really?
Actually, that's not true, but still. I don't know. I bemoan lack of women in my life, but also I don't really interact with
You
them.
hate
all
them?
that much. Yeah, no, I hate them. Yeah, fuck women.
No, I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Write what you know at first. Start
Yeah.
out by writing what you know. So yeah. If I wrote a story,
What would it be?
I'd want it to be about a white dude, and he's got like this Korean American best friend.
Interesting. You're the supporting character, even in your own self-insert fiction.
Yeah, and he moves to Korea at some point, and then the main character, the white dude, gets into some shit. He gets into some trouble, or he just destroys his life, ruins his life somehow, and then he just needs a fresh start. So his friend in Korea is like, dude, you know, just come out here. I got a pretty good setup, whatever. And he's like, okay. So he flies to Korea to meet up with this Korean American friend, and the whole movie is just them getting into like all sorts of trouble. Like, oh, okay, so the white dude meets a Korean girl, but like,
Yeah.
let me think.
He needs to shave the bones off of her chin himself.
Okay, so the call to adventure is him ruining his life.
Yeah.
Then the supernatural aid would be the Korean.
The Korean guy is a mystical Korean.
No. The Korean American just has the means to, you know, like, I have a setup here. Come
Yeah,
through.
there's a random thing that's unusual. The supernatural aid doesn't actually have to
yeah,
be
exactly.
supernatural.
It just
It
has
is
to be.
something that is coming from outside of the protagonist, this weird black swan event that disrupts his life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. And then he says, yes, I'll come. So that's crossing from known into the unknown, getting on that plane ride, pretty much the plane ride
Yeah,
scene.
getting on the plane and not to Epstein's Island.
Yeah, so he lands. Then he meets the first helper, which is the friend. He's like, "Hey, bud, I'm glad you can make it. Thanks, man." It's like, "Yeah, let's blah blah blah." And then together, they meet. Yo, you got to meet this dude, a crazy dude I met out here. He's from Thailand, barely speaks English, barely speaks Korean, and yet somehow I always know what he's saying. And this guy is just pure magic. So the white dude, the Korean American dude, meet the mentor, which is this weirdo foreigner.
This Chinese guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then they go through some fucked up situation. Like maybe they start messing with the wrong people, or they get into a really unfortunate.
South Korea, much like North Korea, is consumed by a bunch of cults. It seems like Koreans are just naturally crazy.
Yeah.
Like South Korea's difference with North Korea is that there's a bunch of Babel. What are the corporations called? Baebol.
Pebble.
I don't know if that's it, but I think that's it. And then like all the politicians are connected with one cult or another. I know.
Yeah. Okay. So they get involved with some cult shit or something or whatever.
Yeah, or one of their corporations. Yeah,
Or gangsters.
like Samsung. Yeah, or gangsters. Yeah.
Or something weird. I think culty would be good. I think culty.
Yeah,
that's a good
that's
one.
an underrated element of Korean society is how cult heavy it is.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, that's good. So they get tied up with some cult shit, and then like when things get really bad, they meet the girl.
Yeah.
The girl is the second helper they run into, but she's also the love interest of the main
Yeah.
character, the Korean girl. And she helps them get out of one bad snag. And then They get a momentary reprieve. She's like, I know a place where we could lay low, and they go to like a internet cafe or a PC bong or something.
Yeah.
And then during a tender moment between the main character and the girl, something happens. Maybe the Korean American friend dies, or the mentor dies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good. Yeah.
I don't
There's
know.
a loss of one of those figures. Yeah.
I don't know which one would be better though,
Probably the mentor.
or the best friend, honestly.
Best friend is a heavier loss, but maybe that's a later loss within it. But yes, go on.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll lose the mentor.
Mentor, and then the helper friend can get a separate girl of his own at the end, and will be there the whole way through.
Oh yeah. Okay, fine. So the mentor dies, or they lose the mentor somehow. Like he gets separated. Like it's just the worst situation of the story. Maybe.
And it doesn't have to even have lost the mentor. It could be some other means of inducing the underworld. But still, are you a fan of Big Trouble in Little China?
Didn't see it. I don't think.
What? Oh man, I feel like it's a movie you would love.
Yeah.
It's similar to this in a bunch of ways.
This as if it's a real thing.
No, it's similar to Big Trouble in Little China.
No. I'm saying it's like you're already referring it to as like this instead of like your story that you got going. Like you called it this. You know, it's like because it's already taking shape. You see it. You visualize it. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. Like I'm pretty sure I could do this. So they go through that bad situation. Then the transformation happens, which is what the mentor said to the main character is finally sinking in at this moment at the key. The pivotal turning point. So he transforms, then succeeds where they failed last time, and then we could start wrapping up with the rest of the final scene, the final act. So yeah, that's kind of like, you see how easy it is to make up a story, and then from there it's just writing it. It's
you're right. The actual structure is easy enough to put together.
Yeah, so for all of you listening or watching, I hope you enjoyed my little writer's room sesh with Carmen. But yeah, this is how I could probably write this now. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, we did it. We got to the right point.
Damn. It would be a waste not to do something with it, right?
Yes, it would. With the brilliant idea of white guy goes to Korea, stuff happens, the end.
Okay, so if we really want to flesh this out.
Yeah.
So the A plot is basically the main adventure, and then there's got to be a B plot, which is, it could be one of the bad guy stories, like storylines.
Yeah.
Which is like, the two cultist enforcers that are after them are like these bumbling but like evil idiots or something.
Lovable but evil idiots. Yeah, you have your Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, and that could be the B plot. And the C plot could be hidden. It could be like some very vague thing that's alluded to in the beginning of the story, but towards the end, like, it pops up. So once you follow these rules, like writing stories becomes very easy.
Yeah.
It should be really fun.
It would be very fun, actually. Yes, you're right. I agree.
Yeah. Now the question is, do we want comics? Do we want not little short stories, books? The comic medium has advantages, but you're
people are incredibly visual now. So if it's not short form video, literature or prose won't do. You're better off with comics.
Yeah. Comic books. So then you'd need an artist, enlist the help.
Like a storyboard. But yes.
Do you know any artists? Is John good at art?
He's okay. He just does composition. He's actually decent, but he does a lot of trace work and things like that. He's not talented. He knows exactly what he's good at and focuses on it.
Yeah. So I think this would be a pretty decent. And the reason why, I think we could do this is because it's basically our story. It's a story of us.
Yeah, exactly. We just have to. So we have to go to Korea, and we have to have a falling out with the cult.
Well, we don't have to do it in real life. We could just do it in the story. But it would be helpful, I guess, to go to Korea.
Yeah, I'll be able to have my favorite, whatever, gochujang chicken.
So yeah, we could That was cool. You know, we pretty much
Yeah.
just made up like the whole skeleton of a story. And who would you get to play the main character? I'd want Tom Holland.
That'd be fine. Paul Dano.
Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so you'd have to decide on like the age range, I guess.
That's true, and then cast someone appropriately for it.
Yeah.
Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, so then next order of business is when it comes to like the essays things, the video essays and the blog posts, what do I want to write? Because I know the reason why I'm doing this is because there's stuff I probably want to write, you know, like write about. Martial arts is a fun category, but it's like it's pretty esoteric and niche.
Yeah.
There's movies, obviously, music, but that could become really like casting a wide net, you know?
Yeah.
So you
I
can
don't know. I mean, politics is so tiresome. What else do people even talk about? I guess specialized interests.
Relationships.
Relationships, right. That's a big discourse driver.
yeah, but I don't want to write about relationships, to be honest.
Same. I'm terrible at them. And AI don't know shit.
Yeah, I don't want to write about relationships. We could write about
Relationships. Yeah.
We could do food reviews.
That'd be nice. What if we just reviewed a bunch of different things, different experiences, New York, just detail the very common too of logging about New York.
Yes. Or you could write like book
Yeah.
bullshit wikis, like how to how to do a podcast like Terrorisk. It's like get really drunk and just set up a mic, spend too much money on equipment that you probably could have minimized. Smoke a lot of weed.
I know that's going to be inevitable.
Say a lot of inflammatory things.
I say nothing inflammatory.
That's true. Me neither.
Yeah, totally. I know a lot of inflammatory stuff has run the course, I think.
Yeah.
Being inflammatory, that's still in because it's just how things work.
No. I think you're on the right track with reviews. We should probably go with that at first and then
Yeah.
deviate if we want. So we could review. We
Could
could.
review the act of sex and give it a 6 point, not a 9, but 6.5.
Oh, that's really lowbrow shit.
Yeah.
Reviewing sex.
Not the sex you have, just the act in general as a whole.
I think we should review spots, right?
We come up with our best Google reviews, we read them off, we then say our actual reviews or opinions on it. We should actually give an actual review and then write a joke review for the individual spot and link to the podcast.
Actually, I know. So this is actually good because there's two of us, and you know we both plan to write stuff. So what we could do is we could just show it to each other and
That's true.
edit each other's shit. You know, be
Yeah.
like you know, put in like footnotes and stuff, and be like, yeah, you should do this over here, this over here, this over here. Add this. This will be. You could punch this up a bit, make it a little funnier. And I think we could really find a voice this way.
Yeah. There's a wide array of things that can be reviewed, and you can have an extended review to it. Can you cross-post to Terrorisk, the website, on like Google reviews, or will they just take down the review or not post it?
What do you mean?
Like, can you write a Google review and then say, to read more, follow our link to terrorisk.com? Or whatever the website URL is.
Maybe. I don't know what the policy is on.
I'm sure a bunch of places would take it down, but I'd be curious if we could worm it in anyway.
That's a good idea. We could also, let's see. We could review. I think the best thing is usually the places we go to, because every time
Yeah.
we go to places, it's like that's where we have the most thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like that's where we have the most like critiques and like thoughts about a thing. It's usually when we go somewhere new to eat or go somewhere new to party.
Yeah.
But some things are just like it's probably well tread ground, like Times Square.
Well, there's so much to New York outside of Times Square. People only hear about Times. Well, no. People outside of it hear about all these other things. Times Square is actually a micro focus that you only hear about online or if you're on Twitter, because that's where it abuts against Times Square. But it'd be fun to say tweet reviews of things in New York City totally unrelated to the discourse.
Yeah. We'll come up with some
As
ideas.
per that 4chan screenshot, here's some incredibly boring information about New York.
Yeah.
Or it's a photo of the Cursed Checkers, Popeyes, or whatever at Myrtle something in Brooklyn. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's in Bed-Stuy.
That's probably
The photo where it's like a Checkers and...
yeah.
it's
I know
like
what you're talking about. It's like meme to hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Do OC about that.
could do that. What it's like, what it's actually like there, what it smells like
Yeah.
there, the kind of people you would see there.
Yeah.
And it's really not that glamorous. There's nothing cool about it.
No, I think just talking about it makes it glamorous. It's a hyperstition.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Hyperstition, when you talk about something enough or think about it, you make it true.
Yeah. I think the thing that it's actually funny because I don't know why this is true, but I think I'd probably be better at writing like wikis, like how-tos.
You feel you're just good at that kind of technical writing.
Well, it's also because I tried out a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I could write a how-to on how to roll a joint. I could write a
Yeah.
how-to on how to clean a katana. I could write a how-to
Yeah. How to clean a katana. How to is a great wiki.
how to put a bicycle together, how to
Yeah.
put a computer together, how to get a podcast going, how to get a YouTube channel started, how to do all this shit, you know? How to record music, how to produce music. And it's like I think I could do it with my own twist on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be very distinctive. I'm trying to think of, what if we just go through every single possible reviewing site and leave reviews and try to link it back to Terrorisk, so everything is just a breadcrumb trail to the website.
Sure. I mean, every time I post like
Or be reviewing life as a whole and writing WikiHows on life as a whole. You can do all your self-help and I'll do all my critiques of things.
actually that's good. That's a good.
Going on a walk in a certain area and you write a how-to and I give a review of the walk itself. And so on and so forth, where a variety of items, experiences, locations, events, shows, movies, etc. we see, and we both write a different tact of writing about it.
I also want to do something where it's like that could make us go and approach like strangers more often.
I agree. We deal too much just with each other. We should have interactions with the outside world, and I've been craving it. And I want to interact with people that are not Times Square people. I spend too much time either at work or Times Square related events talking to similar kinds of people. I would like to have a broader experience of New York.
I mean, I had this one idea because I was at the local mall, Staten Island Mall, the other day to get a haircut,
Yeah.
and you know, I was like, there was I saw like a bit of
What do you say when you go in for a haircut? Do you say make it extra ricey?
extra crispy,
Yeah.
extra crispy.
You get your
ricey.
shit lined up.
Get my shit lined up, extra crispy.
Yeah. Extra crispy ricey.
Yeah. So I had this idea, like I would just wear a shirt that says Staten Island Mall photography.
Yeah. And you just take photographs of teenage girls.
Oh shit. That got really fucked. That got dark. No,
Oh, I don't know if it's dark. It's perverse.
I was thinking more about like capturing the people who like work there,
Yeah. Like people of New York, people of the Staten Island Mall.
or not even. Yeah, not even all just like people. Sometimes I'll just see something interesting, and I'm just like, you could write something about that. You know, like just a season, like certain patterns you would see across like seasonal sales lines of
Yeah.
different department store
Ooh, I
brands.
like that. Yeah, and also malls are such a dead format now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's becoming its own aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like it's, you know, like I do get curious when I look at the eyes of the people working the kiosks and the stands, and it's like, what could be going on in their minds right now? Usually they're staring
Yeah.
at their phones, but when they're not, it makes me curious.
Yeah.
So basically, the thing is, it's just like playing that photographer role. You know, it's like, oh hey, can I take a picture of you? And it really helps if you wear like a cap or a,
Yeah,
or a-
something to just signal that you're press, you're a streamer.
yeah. So we could do that. We could cover events and stuff. We could cover like we could go to an event.
People are eager to open up if they think you're with the press or something like that. They're eager to
Holy
open up.
shit! No, duh. You're fucking right. Like
People are very eager to talk.
we
in
could
fact.
literally be like, "Yo, we're from we're from the Terrorisk podcast." And
Yeah, and people would be so enthused to be interviewed or talk to us.
Okay, so I know what we got to do. We got to get a camera. I'm gonna get a.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a real camera.
Okay,
Like-
yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm excited. This is good.
This is actually, this is a really good idea. Yeah.
And then we'll find an event that we like, and then
Yeah.
we'll be like, "Yo, let's go to this." We'll bring the camera. We'll wear shirts. We'll wear lanyards and all that shit and caps. We'll get geared up. We'll get kitted out. We'll look extra crispy, and we'll go up to people and that we think are interesting that may have a lead to a story or something, and we just talk to them, take pictures of them, take pictures of whatever they're looking at, where they're at, where we're at, and all that shit. This is good.
It is, yeah.
It's like I took Carmen to his first car show. Carmen took me to my first wine tasting.
Yeah.
And it could be local spots, so people who follow could actually come too. Yo, because I think the mistake we made up to this point was not using the brand, because it's a
Yeah,
brand.
right.
It is a fucking brand.
It's a
now.
good name, too.
Yeah, so we really can just get the gear together, like shirts and photo and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm down. I'm
Sure.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do like, yeah, I'll just you know what? I'm gonna go on eBay. I'm gonna find like a nice used camera.
Damn, yeah, I don't know. What if it was Terrorisk? Like Terra Earth.
We could do fake ones. We could do like
Yeah.
we could do like faux. We could have undercover.
Terrorisk is a good name, but yeah, the portmanteau works well, yeah.
No, we could have undercover shit too.
Mm.
Like we could just come up with a different name and go under a different thing.
Yep, just like Vice.
Is that what Vice does?
No, actually they did.
No, not something that exists already. Like not to
Yeah.
impersonate another organization, but just to like have an alternate like shell name or shell brand that we just use if Terrorisk doesn't sound appropriate for where we're going.
What was the significance or origin of Terrorisk as a name?
Well, I just had to think of a name for Terrorisk, and at that moment, I was thinking about like some of the craziest shit that happened to me from online shenanigans.
Oh, FBI thing,
Yeah.
Terrorisk?
Yeah. You want the tray?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the FBI thing. It was an homage to that.
Were you visited by FBI agents?
Yeah. They came to my house and everything. So yeah, that was interesting.
I'm sure you've talked about it before, but I had totally forgotten about it.
Yeah. So that's the origin of the name. And again, if the name is too,
No, I think it's a good name. It's just like, what does it relate to us exactly? It's a great name. And because, the global war on terror was a big part of our lives, right? Remember, like, it just being so culturally prominent in our lives.
Oh no, it has nothing to do with the actual like terrorism.
It's just being called the Terrorisk, yeah.
Well, one of the things like the catchphrases of the brand Terrorisk was that it's like the most unmarketable podcast in the world, and I didn't do that to make it the most unmarketable podcast in the world, but I was
I
basically
don't know, we're trying to compete with Cumtown. But
no,
yes.
no, not at all. I was basically by default like carving away space for us to be able to like do whatever the fuck we want instead of having to. So at least people know what to expect. Like these guys aren't going to post content thirsting for subscribers, thirsting for viewers, thirsting for like like acceptance from like the masses. We're just going to do what we want to do. We're going to do what we do. And if you like it, great. If not, then you're not going to like it. And we'll pay attention to what gets better, like, responses, and then we'll just like develop that more. So like when you hear the name Terrorisk, it's like, okay, this is a little edgy, I could say,
Yeah, it's a great name.
So it's like you're gonna think it's like, all right, these guys clearly aren't writing about like
Well, the one thing is that it would be, frankly, it's a name that'd be great for a geopolitics podcast or a podcast about the global war on terror,
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security, exactly, and like that weird era and how heavily prominent that was, and how people grew alienated from it from the Bush years.
I think this is like the beginning of like our next like level, you know, like level up.
What was your relationship? How many people do you know went to Afghanistan or Iraq?
By now I like lost touch with a lot of people, but
Yeah,
it was
but-
quite a few of them from like high school days and shit.
Yeah, I didn't have, because I didn't go to high school, but I knew a decent number of people from online. One interesting thing is, like, I meet people, not even just people younger than me, but I meet people my age who just know no one who was a veteran of the global war on terror. And I know a big factor is a class and political matter.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it was talked about. We had movies about it, sort of. But it was just so far from everyone's life that it, unlike Vietnam or whatever, it just didn't have prominence. And unlike even Vietnam, you don't even have talk of veterans coming back. It was just like almost all the media about the global war on terror is just like rehashing Vietnam stuff. And
What
not
kind of?
working.
I just want to know, like, if you're interested in dipping into that realm, like, what could we possibly
do?
No, what could we possibly have to say about that shit? Like, what do you want to like talk to like National Guardsmen?
Nah, that's fine. I don't know. I'm just
No. I mean,
it was an interesting time.
No,
It was
'cause-
interesting because like
no. We can make it funny too, because it's like we'll be at like Madison Square Garden or something
Yeah.
and talk to some of the soldiers. Like, yo, what's it like being a fucking weekend warrior standing out here with the freaks in the streets? You know?
yeah.
Hi, we're with the Terrorisk podcast. We mainly cover like global terrorism.
Well, you know, honestly, a lot of veterans would be very engaged with that and find it very intriguing. A lot of those guys are very like conspiracy minded. A lot of them are very chill to chat with.
They have like niche perspectives on things.
Yeah, it's kind of similar a bunch of the times, but I don't know. It's just it was that went on from what Bush from like 2003 until
You know what's awesome? Because we're like a white guy and an Asian guy, we could probably get into like any liberal or conservative space, either or.
that's true.
That's awesome.
A bunch of
I mean, like,
different
I mean,
spaces too,
it's
but
not, I'm
yeah.
not saying like there's racial segregation in such places, but I just mean like we'll be taken in differently, where you have one white guy and one POC guy. You know?
Well, Asian is such a unique category with it. In many ways, all discussion of race frankly, a discussion of race overwhelmingly ignores Hispanics.
Yeah.
There's like everything BLM, all that was just about focusing everything on whites and blacks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I've rambled on about this before, but America probably has a large racial anxiety or strangeness going on due to the fact that there's now more Hispanics in the country than blacks. They're like 17% of the population.
Yeah. Damn, I can't stop thinking about this. This is a good fucking idea.
It is.
Because like no matter what, we're giving something of value instead of just like doing what we usually do, which is just jerk off on a mic for like 2 hours. We could really like offer something, you know?
We could, yes.
We could
I don't know, everyone wants to live in New York, right? Everyone moves to a few big cities, so there's a lot of people that want to see what New York is like, and we could be a eye into it. Maybe this would actually get you more, or get us more people following just to see what New York is like on the ground, in a perspective not often seen.
So we could get, damn. I mean, this might be a lot of work to do it this way, but what we could do is like you go to a certain event, you'd get the photo content,
Yeah.
then you get the interview content, like the audio and the video, and then yeah, you gotta get the video content. Actually, that's just par for the course. Because like
I'm not just saying this because he's my friend. I feel like Richie would be a good person to get in on this.
hells yeah.
Because then we have a black guy, an Asian guy, a white guy, and he's quiet, but he loves equipment, like audio equipment. He would love being a cameraman, or like having him just like on the camera here.
Yeah. So this is our modus operandi should be to transmit information about like about like actual spots we hit and like events we go to and all that stuff, and B, basically, well, the first one I guess is more important, but the second one is like try to show places and events that you wouldn't be able to readily access perspectives on, you know?
Localized reporting of New York City in 2025.
The Terrorisk way.
Yeah.
And this could tie into like the lifestyle brand. Like, what do we do? Well, we do a lot of different things. Sometimes we like to shoot pool, but a lot of what we do is we like to go out to eat different places.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go to parties full of weirdos, which is always a good time. Yeah. I'll set it up. I got it's good. I got a good direction now. You know, like I got a
yeah. It's a great concept. Really, genuinely, it's exciting.
Yeah, and we will get rich on it. You know, it's like
it's not a necessity, but it would be a good addition to it, and he would be someone that would want to hold the camera and he's shy, so he'd be there, but in the background, kind of.
Yeah, I'll just be like, dude, anywhere we go, wherever we go, whoever we go to, or whoever we talk to, you gotta shadow us, man. Just get the fucking footage. Just get
exactly. He would go nuts for it.
Like, bro, just get the fucking footage. Shit, I'll come over sometime soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go out on the town. Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. There's a lot of shit on our plate now. Like we got the We got the little topics in a bag to draw from. We got events that we have to like plan on hitting. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I will. So this is an exciting year.
Yeah. So for all you folks listening, prepare to see some Terrorisk evolution. I mean, by now you could have faith that this is going to happen because I mean, we've kept it going this far. I'm now in a consistent place where it's like I could invest some into this project, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like we'll get the hang of it. We'll probably get better as we do it. I mean, we could also just write about like experience, like local experience, like what it's like to travel to the airport from Brooklyn or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. We just have to do like a brainstorming session. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also have to figure out like camera specs. And that's going to be really fun. I've always wanted to own a cool camera, you know?
Yeah, it would be great.
The only problem, I just wish I had a bigger car because the backseat is tight. If we're gonna have a third man rolling with us, he has to be able to sit in the back.
We'll make it work, and you have a trunk to put him in.
True. No, the trunk space is big, so we could carry all the equipment. No problem.
Oh, that's great. That's perfect then. Yeah. We'll make it work for sure.
We'll keep some yeah. I got this.
Yeah.
Fuck. This is gonna be fun, you know.
This is really fun.
That's really why I want to do. That's really why I even podcast. It's just because I enjoy doing it. I mean, I've had critics like tell me like, "Yo, it's a failed podcast." It's like it doesn't feel like a failure. I mean, I have fun with it because it's just how can it be a failure if I'm enjoying what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we'll get into some cool crowds. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll be the director. You'll be the person man.
The person man. Yeah, that'll be my official title.
Yeah, you're the person man. I'm the director. Richie will be the technician. The engineer.
Yeah, that's great, actually. Yeah.
And then I'll along the way, I could teach Richie all the production odds.
He would love that too. It's something he wants to learn anyway.
The question is next. The more interesting question is how could we possibly capitalize on that?
Yeah.
We could ask for like sponsorship. Like, we could give them some kind of ad deal or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also have to not cave into like I don't know. I guess some of the challenges, right? Like we have to not seem like we're trying to kowtow to like social standards of like political
Of
correctness.
based or cringe things either. I think we should be radical centrist or radically apolitical, even while making political statements.
You know what? What we could do is we could try to like approach even political things through
Yeah.
like a spiritual lens. Or
I
like,
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a spiritual lens. We have an ironic lens. You know what really was lacking over the last decade, the Trump years, was guys who are aggressively apolitical, with the exception of like Hometown, as part of our fandom. Just being able to, even then, not really, because they branded or were branded or could only be accepted as a leftist podcast, even though they overtly said they weren't that.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for the guy. At one point, it's very common to find guys who say, I hate both parties, I hate politics, I hate how everything's
That's
fucked up.
pretty much how I am now.
Yeah, and like that fell out of favor under Trump administration 1, when those kind of guys got a lot of criticism on the left, and they kind of backed down or changed themselves in response.
Well, I'm not like bitterly hating politics just for the sake of hating politics. I hate politics because once I turned away from any of things resembling that, my life just dramatically improved.
yeah, it would dramatically increase for almost every single person.
And it made me feel not betrayed, but it made me feel like I got hoodwinked. Like I got
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I got conned. You know, for so many years.
Years, what a waste of time, what a waste of life.
Energy and grief.
Yeah, exactly. All the emotional drive that went into our total culture war mobilization.
Probably aged us.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Just for nothing.
Yeah. So
It just made everything unchill and unfun.
So in that sense, it's like, what's the most apolitical thing you could do? Well, enjoy
Yeah.
your fucking life. Be
That's
grateful.
true.
That's like, and that's incredible how like spirituality just became so fucking apolitical if you really are real about it. Like,
Yeah.
what use does politics have at this point if you like are striving to become more harmonized and like aligned? So yeah, I mean, we don't even have to talk about it during our excursions. We could just literally be like, yeah, we're not trying.
We're just chill here as we're at this various political event or any other kind of event.
because I think mentally we are primed to be like a good fly on the wall.
Yes, agreed.
Because like, look at us. We're not trying to start shit with other
I used to, but that was a decade ago.
I mean, I did too, but I'm saying like within the confines of like Terrorisk, like it's not like we're trying to get into culture wars with people or entities.
We should be an anti-discourse podcast, even while talking about the discourse.
Yeah, that'll be good. And the excursions, the expeditions, that's gonna be cool. I really want to get rich on this. You're right.
Yeah. I don't care whether we get rich or not. I'm just happy to do it because it sounds like a fun event to do.
Let's make the
fun thing to do.
Let's make the goal to just make contacts.
Yeah, make contacts. I don't want to monetize yet, man. I don't want to monetize yet. And when it comes to monetizing, you can do it or you deal with that. I don't want to violate my innocent Peter Pan spirit with it.
Okay. I mean, if it did monetize, like I'm always about sharing the wealth.
I know, I appreciate it.
But you know, I mean, you're right. It's not the goal. The goal, I think, the networking is more valuable. We should seek to do that.
I don't know. I mean, really, this feels like people mention things like people picking up from where COVID left off, but this really feels like picking up where 2016 left off on a better life. The last decade, a huge wash. Let's not consider it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And we could be taking the first steps to doing that,
Yeah.
you know? And we'll just go out there and we'll just meet cool people,
Yeah.
go to cool places and cover it, like really cover it. And
Yeah.
we should start small. We should start with something simple, a simple
Agreed,
event, just
yeah.
to see if you and I could do it. You know, just go and forget the video aspect. We just go there to take pictures
Yeah.
and to like talk to people, get information, and then write about it.
Yeah. I agree. And build from there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll
It's
find
very promising.
I'll find the first event. I don't know. We got a couple of choices. We could do something like food and lifestyle related, something
Yeah.
cultural. Cultural sounds fun.
It does. Yeah. What's currently going on in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens?
There's stuff like, you know, St. Patty's Days, which just passed. We could find like, I mean, summer's around the corner, so we could find like Puerto Rico parades or something, or like Dominican
did that already
parades.
happen? I don't know, but yeah, Independence Day parade for both of them, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's like that can be experienced only in New York in a specific way.
Yeah, exactly. What a wonderful city. We're lucky because we live in the capital.
Well, I said
Well,
that.
not the political capital. It's better, actually, that our political capital is separated from the center, the biggest city of the country.
If
We're
you're
actually very lucky in America that we're very lucky that the Pentagon is not in Pentagon and the White House are not in New York City.
Yeah. Well, if you're a writer, it is
Yeah.
really a blessing to live in New York City because you will never ever run out of shit to write about.
Yeah.
Really. Like whether you're a blogger, an author, a screenwriter, whatever, you will never like you could just walk around anywhere and just see something to fucking write about. You know what I just realized?
Tell me.
When I do this podcast sober, it's a lot more productive.
It is. I agree. I agree. Yeah. We don't get really detoured like when we're both wasted. So I think there's a lot to be said for that.
So funny, so hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all you guys who came here to listen to like drunk, goofy shit, but yeah, this
I don't know. I think that more people are going to appreciate this than appreciate our normal programming, our previous programming.
well, it's about time we developed the brand because
I agree.
the thing is like there's certain milestones you reach, I think, as a podcast, and once you get to like episode 150 and beyond, that's when things just naturally like blossom into like what it's going to be. And I
Yeah.
feel it. I actually feel it, you know, because there's you coming on board, and there's like the ideas we got, and there's I don't know, slow, subtle like life improvements and all this shit, and like I mean like quality of life improvements
Yeah.
for the podcast.
Yeah, the patch notes for the podcast.
Yeah, now it's time we get major updates in the oven.
Mhm.
Yeah. We got a little bit of time left. So, okay. So I hope
Yeah.
you guys are ready for this. Like
Go on.
we're going to go to some events. Hopefully some weird ones, some crazy
Yeah,
ones.
we'll find plenty of things. Yeah.
I mean, the political shit, let's try to stay away. I
I
guess.
agree. It's also so tiresome. That era feels like it's past.
Yeah. We could go to like interesting readings.
Yeah. Well, there aren't many of those, but there's interesting things going on in the city.
Like if an
yes.
author comes around to the city.
Yeah.
we'll
Oh,
go-
fair. Yes.
And what if like imagine like we go someplace you know trying to cover it, and then like we just have such a good time we forget to cover it, and it's
That's
like
true,
we end
yeah.
up meeting like a bunch of people. We can't do that. We
Yeah.
have to stay on course, stay on mission.
Even if we do that, we just have to document a journal about it immediately the next day, and then pick up the pieces and
Well,
put it together.
What we'll do is we'll get a checklist.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to this thing. These are the checklists. We need X amount of minutes of footage.
Yeah.
We need X amount of photos to cover a page. We need certain X amount of. We need information on this, and that. Like who, what, where, when, why. If you could cover, it's really simple. I could easily make up a framework for what to do when we get there. You know, like, damn, I think this is gonna fucking work. Like I think this is gonna fucking we could go to like grand openings to certain places.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many things in the city all the time. So yes.
Yeah. Shit. All right, and then beyond that, let's think even bigger. So we get that off the road,
Right.
off the ground.
Yeah.
I think the idea for monetization should be so that we don't have to work, so that
That's true.
we could do
Do this full time.
We
Yeah.
go on tours and shit, or like expeditions, real expeditions. Yeah, I'm stoked.
I am too. This is a very exciting development.
You know what we should also try?
What's that?
We should try going to on a meditation retreat.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, and write
Yeah.
about it. I want to try one of those. We could try like a yoga class together.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that too.
Like just goofy things that are like almost incongruent.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah, this is how you really decide on these things. You create like a criteria list, and then it's like whatever fits that criteria, you could just do it. And
That's true. I'll be right back.
sure. What are you getting? Another drink?
Yeah, I'm going to piss.
All right.
Anyway, so we're here on another exciting episode of the Terrorisk podcast with Chris Kim. Yeah. Go on. Where were we before? We're going out. We're going to be exploring New York City. We're going to be documenting it apolitically, the way you've never seen before. Maybe you have seen before, but it's much in the
I was gonna
distant
say
past.
like, I don't know if we could do it that new, but then after that we go on tour,
Yeah.
or not tour, I should say. Further,
Tour is accurate.
grander expeditions,
Mhm.
and Also, it's I guess it would be nice to see where like the outside world is at, you know,
That's true. Outside of New York.
because I haven't been like prowling the streets as I was when I was like younger, much younger.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? And you get so lost in your own head. And what reason? Neither of us are married. We don't have kids. Why stay inside when you can just go out? Go out every single night, especially when it's summer. It's hot lights in the city. Everything's sweltering and hot. But when you walk out on the street and there's a gentle breeze, it's all so pleasant again.
Yeah. And we basically we put enough work into this where we could just leverage it to like use it as an excuse
Yeah.
to like make contact with people. We're not just some weirdos who just want to take up your time. Like we're we're a serious podcast. Also, we could say like
We're serious influencers.
yeah, we could even get into places like with the edginess of the brand. Be like, yeah, we're a fashion we're a fashion
We're
brand.
thinfluencers. We'll come up with a different portmanteau or pun every single episode.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be nice to go to these things. We could try.
We'll go
Comic-Con.
into a place and we'll insist that we're biological brothers and call ourselves kinfluencers.
Oh no.
And
Oh,
then
no.
just call people racist if they accuse us of looking too differently to be brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for this chapter of my life too. Like I'm ready to just because you know I got to do something with like all the extra energy and time.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're all going through changes all the time, but particularly us entering middle age.
Yep. Time to do some real-
Middle-aged influencers who wear sunglasses, but only inside. We never wear them outside. We just document our beefs with various club promoters or bouncers at different locations in New York City.
That's all we do is we record
Beefs.
beefs,
Beefs with bouncers.
beefs with bouncers, bouncer beefs,
BWB.
BWB, beef with bouncers. Oh my god. Yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing some pool in interesting
Yeah.
places, shooting pool.
We'll go to Carmelo's.
Yeah.
The shittiest pool tables and all the 21-year-olds or younger.
Yeah. Damn. Oh man. This is gonna be wild. And we got some brainstorming to do.
Of ideas for things to do, for places to go, for things to contribute to the Terrorisk podcast.
Yeah. And maybe I should also update the t-shirts and I don't know. I also want to get
I like the idea of lanyards.
lanyards. Yeah, we definitely need those with laminate cards or something.
I'll get a fedora that has the lanyard stuck into the brim of it.
Hey man, you're the person guy.
Yeah,
You're the person.
the
man.
person man. Yeah,
You go up. You're the icebreaker.
yeah.
All right, icebreaker, you're up. And then we wear headsets and everything.
I'll do the black guy thing of I don't know what they're communicating with that, whatever, satisfaction or greed or
Yeah, we'll scan the room and be like, all right, engage.
engage. Yeah, you should record videos of yourself like those various kind of lifestyle influencers. When you wake up, you take the mouth tape off your mouth, and then you write in your journal. You work out. You're using a Saratoga Springs bottle because they're sponsoring us, and you dunk an ice bath on your face of it. You're on your business call saying we need at least 10K.
Oh man, I'll be like, you promised a green room.
And
Like listen, the person man is not showing up to your little shindig unless we get exactly what we asked.
and then you go for a quick swim in your luxury apartment that you live in, a swimming pool. You come out, you do 10
I would-
push-ups.
I wouldn't want to live like that. I honestly, even if I didn't, I'd want
This is your day before 7 a.m. But because also you divide your days up into multiple days because you shift the time paradigm.
Oh man, that's part of my thinfluencer
Yeah,
shtick.
yeah. Have you seen the guy talking about how he divides his days up into other days?
No.
Commenting on videos or other media. It's a guy, some TikTok or something, a guy in his 50s on TRT who's clearly very red and very like deranged and coked up or whatever amphetamines, saying a bunch of things about how his 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is day one. Then he has a second day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and about how he's just doubling or tripling up his days. So he's kicking your ass and the amount of stuff he's doing.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm rambling now about a
No. Sorry, I was listening, but I was also thinking about things.
No, I know.
I would
There's a lot
ask.
to do.
I would ask that you like send me links to. We gotta figure out a group chat or something like a group message thing.
You're right. Or ways that we can quickly relate to things online here
Yeah.
on the
What do you want me to type?
fuck. Look up multiple days a day TikTok. If that brings it up, I don't know. This is probably going to be a derailment as I show a video that's commonly seen on Twitter now.
Multiple days a day.
Yeah. Oh boy, loading. Interesting. Yeah, I know. I really derailed things.
My 24-hour days for me is. I don't know if we could watch TikToks because that's gonna.
No, it's not. Yeah.
6-hour day. Oh no. Okay. Guy says he has multiple days in one day.
Look at the Reddit comment. Yeah. The Reddit comment and the TikTok. Maybe that is it, the TikTok, but who knows? And you're right.
Yeah, I don't want to play the TikTok because it might like flag it. I think
That's true.
Yeah.
Video where a guy's talking about the same thing on Twitter, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or the Reddit. Just hit the Reddit link. And you're not even pulling it up. I'm just want to see if I'm looking at the right thing. I don't know. I've already derailed us significantly with this.
Oh, why? Like he's a grifter?
Yeah, of course. We should both get into maximum grifting. I can't grift. I'm terrible at grifting.
Video where NL is talking about grifter who explains how he lives multiple days in one day. I don't know.
It's not that interesting. Let's go.
No. I mean, it's. I guess it's one of those goofy things that like an influencer would get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether I'm eating or lunch.
But then, like, yeah, this is part of my day as a griftfluencer.
Griftfluencer is a great term.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I think we should do. I think we should.
What should we do? Tell me.
I think we should go to something like we should try different things, whether it's a wine tasting or whether it's just a thing like an event or some kind of thing.
This is it. But yes,
we should. If we like it,
yeah,
we should keep going to those things.
Yeah.
And if we don't like it, we should just move on to a different thing. Or we keep going.
Oh, I like that idea a lot. How
keep.
would you act this out?
What do you mean?
I'll play it without sound. You just say the lines. Never mind.
Wait. Okay. Let's see what he says.
Yeah.
Stop living
by the clock.
Yeah. Let me play it.
And I'm not crazy.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Stop living by the clock. Oh wait, I can't.
Yeah. Just like fuck. Start from the beginning again. Let me see if I
don't think I could.
Okay, it's 6 a.m. to noon. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Thinking it takes 24 hours just like some dude in a cave 600 years ago. Second starts at noon. It goes until 6 p.m. That's day 2. What I've done now is I have changed and manipulated time. I know 21 days a week. Stack that up over a month, brother. I'm going to eat your lunch. Stack that up over a year. You're toast. Stack it up over 3 years. My whole entire life is different. Otherwise, if you do this, you for about 90 days of your traditional days that you think you will come back to me, and that purposely impacted my life. Never mind, this is a terrible idea. Anyway, continue.
It's okay, I could edit it out.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if you should. It'll probably be the
But
most
what
effective.
about this, like, caught your interest?
The boldness of this guy, his hair transplant, his TRT, him talking like very boldly and very self-confidently about how he has manipulated time by just deciding 6 a.m. to noon is one day and then noon to 6 p.m. is second day. The wonderful line of you're living your life like a dude in a cave 300 years ago, thinking that a day takes 24 hours when in fact a day can take only 6 hours.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, all right, yeah, he's a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It's I found it very impactful to me, not as an actual theory, but because it felt like such a deranged behavior statement to make.
Okay.
It's a kind of influencer, drop shipping, Andrew Tate, Donald Trump, crypto, grind, hustle, sizzle kind of mentality that I find I find it amusing in small doses, but consuming that kind of content constantly seems very tedious to me.
I think what the only things I've really gotten into are the ones I've tried and that actually work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Semen retention, meditation, kendo, drop shipping.
I never tried.
Donald Ship, Donald Ship, Andrew Tate,
Wait, what?
grinding, mentality, astrology, performance enhancing drugs, Twitter, Instagram, influencing, grind set.
But I don't believe in any of that shit.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm just saying, like I basic stuff. I never like. Why would I
Have
try?
you been optimizing your life?
No, not at all, dude.
Yeah, same.
Like,
Have you been on your grind set?
No, not at all.
Same. I'm very anti-grind. I'm anti. Nothing against gays. I'm not a big grinder fan, and I'm anti-grind set.
I'm not about grinding. I'm about good maintenance.
Ooh, I like that term. Go on.
It's like you approach it like a car or something. It's like you're like, all right, well, if you're going to keep a car running for a long time, then you want to do like an oil change every 10,000 miles. You want to do you want to change the cabin air filters every 20,000 miles. Every 100,000 miles, you want to change maybe the accessory belt or something. Same thing. It's like, you get into these routines, and that's really, it's the boring shit that really improves your life. Like, the more boring it is, probably the more effective it's going to be if you just do it every day. Like journaling, there's nothing really inherently exciting about that, but you get some crazy results if you do it every day. Or like working out, it's like there's nothing really awesome about it.
Do you feel like you've Studio Ghiblified your life? Do you imagine yourself as an anime?
Not really.
Yeah, same. That's a good thing not to do, but yes.
No, it's just, I don't know. I just think I'm doing what I want. That's really all I'm doing. It's just what I want. And what I really had to do was really assess and like kind of alter and like tune what I want and why I want it.
Yeah.
Which requires just self-reflection, which is why journaling is fucking important. Once you know what you want, can consciously will, build or kill desire for whatever you want, then life becomes a lot more colorful, So this is like what I'm trying to get to. Like, I don't care for like optimization, being the alpha dog, being the sigma grind set. I don't care about that shit.
It sounds like a terrible way of living your life. It's curious that so many people are into it.
What I believe in is not getting in your own way. I believe in like basically not. You don't have to change shit that's working. Like you could just literally stop doing shit that's bad for you. And we all know what's bad for us, yet we tend to do it. And you can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody can really, but what you can do is you can cut out major things pretty easily that we don't even realize we do. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, just stop getting in your own way. Like that's what journaling is about. It's not about gaining anything. It's really about not being blocked, not blocking yourself, not hindering yourself, with like unreflected thoughts and like just tedious things that weigh heavy on you. So I don't know. Maybe if influencers really did successfully influence
people positively
on those things, then maybe being an influencer isn't so bad. I mean, this guy,
I'm mocking him, but yeah. The high vascularity. I'm assuming his blood is circulating very rapidly.
Yeah.
Probably due to speed use and human growth hormone and testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
Notice how both their hairlines are kind of odd.
Yeah.
You ever have long hair, Chris?
Yeah, I did.
When?
A while ago. Like in my 20s, early 20s.
How did it look? How did you feel about it?
It looked great. I have great hair.
Yeah, you ever think about growing your hair out again? You should grow out your hair and grow out a Fu Manchu mustache.
But I don't want to fit a racial stereotype.
Why not?
Because it's just not my style.
That's fair. That's a good response.
I'm
just curious what you would look like with facial hair and long hair, frankly. Or if you designed an alternative facial hair growth.
I don't know.
Something that is not fitting into a racial stereotype.
I don't know.
How about a Hitler mustache, a toothbrush mustache? A Charlie Chaplin, if you will.
I don't know. I was never really into facial hair like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever had facial hair?
I could grow facial hair.
No, but I mean, like, have you ever had it as a permanent style? Which is the reason I ask is because I personally, unsurprisingly, have had facial hair almost my entire adult life.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, my entire adult life I've had facial hair. Perhaps I'm hiding my actual face, but
Yeah, no, I never did. No,
you ever curious about what it would be like?
no, never.
Interesting.
I don't know, because I'm just so comfortable with like not having like a mustache or a beard, so it's like
Just being clean shaven, yeah.
yeah. I mean, also it's like it's just extra shit because I do a lot of like I do a lot.
Self maintenance already.
No, I'm saying I do a lot of like active shit and just more shit. You know, like when you do a lot of active shit, you're trying to like minimize shit so that
Right.
it's just less stuff to maintain, less stuff to worry about, less stuff that could get caught on shit, less stuff to get damaged, less stuff that could catch
Yeah.
things. I mean, certain things, yeah, I'm sure facial hair wouldn't get in the way. It's just
But long hair in particular, when you're dealing with martial
long
arts,
hair. That
makes sense.
yeah. So other things too, it's like little things like my nails. And so it's like if I'm like keeping my hair short, my nails short, and all that stuff, then I might as well just shave my fucking face, you know? Like
I see that too. Interesting.
so I don't know. It's just consistency, keeping a consistent thing.
I'm just curious what you look like bearded is all. I know I'm emphasizing this too much. Forgive me if I'm going too far in it. Just curious.
No, it's all yeah. It's okay to be curious. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I was never curious though. I mean, I don't get me wrong. Like there have been periods where I just didn't shave for like weeks, and yeah, I would get pretty scruffy. It's just I wouldn't grow like I don't know if I let it grow out and to see how long it could grow out. But
I'm curious about that, but I understand if you're not.
yeah, I'm just I don't know. It's really not. You should be the beard guy.
I am. I mean, I am already.
Yeah, that's why you're the people man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm the director.
Yeah.
I have to just kind of be in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I could do that, then I'll be all right. I could operate this thing. Yeah. And I don't know. For some reason, wine tasting keeps coming up. Maybe because I just
Well, you want a wine taste, clearly. Otherwise, you would not keep referencing it.
yeah. Otherwise, like, because that's like not because I just want to drink. It's just if I really want to drink, I would just go to a fucking bar.
Right.
But, like,
You want to try wine tasting in particular. You
Yeah.
keep mentioning it.
yeah. But then there's also like whiskey tasting and shit. But that'll get you really fucked up.
You take small sips.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Oh, you don't?
No, I've never been to a whiskey tasting either. But I don't know.
They pour you very small quantities.
Oh, that's cool. Like little drops.
I mean, like, I don't know, half an ounce or something. So you do end up getting fucked up. Wine tasting, I don't know. They technically, professionally, you're supposed to spit it out after tasting it, but a lot of people just drink it anyway.
I also feel like this is almost an end of an era if we do this because
It will be the last of a millennial hurrah around this kind of consumer product.
sure, that too. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, it's worth it. It's noble. It's a noble pursuit.
Because all of this is ended or ending. It's it speaks to a time and place.
Yeah. And I just I never wanted to get into like the side of creating things where it's just like attacking shit, you know. I just want to explore shit, really.
Yeah.
Exploration. People, places, and things.
So I went back to Boston this week. This is a very abrupt transition.
No, go for it.
It was nice. I saw my mom. Mostly, I don't have a lot of friends left in Boston. Just people who moved away or had fallen things out or people are just out of town. Very different time and place from a decade ago when I lived there. And my friends are still around, and I'm happy to see, and I love them. I have that dynamic of going and seeing people who are just getting a little bit worse year by year without naming anything. Or even if they're not getting worse, they're just stagnant. And it's nice to see them, but I also am glad that I left Boston. it really hit me this time in particular, seeing people I used to know and seeing them just stuck in the same route or the same routine. People that are your friends that you always hoped or thought they would get better, and then you're seeing them now and realize that they're never going to get better. And I know this is very relatable to you.
that last is so true though.
Yeah, I had that. Like the way I don't know what your situation is, but seeing
No, you
friends,
know exactly. You've
do.
seen enough of the fucking clips
Yeah.
from like other episodes with other friends. Like
Yeah.
you know exactly the kind of shit. Like yeah, I know you know.
This trip in particular, I had last time I went back to Boston, which was only in January. But this time in particular, seeing friends and people I really, really want them to just pull out of their nosedives.
Oh yeah, I know, but
Like, even if they're just doing small things and they're slowly building themselves up, I keep telling my friends, come to Boston, stay with me for a few days. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get them to come here. It would be nice, even if they're fuck ups. I want to see them here.
in New York or Boston?
New York.
Yeah. For sure.
Because maybe then they'll pull out or maybe they'll change things somewhat.
This is why we have to create an institution
Mm.
or something just to have like a stable thing to float on and like let other people like take shelter under for a bit, you know, temporarily.
This
now
is
and then.
New York scene bullshit, but something that always annoyed me about Times Square, about Sovereign House, that area of Chinatown. People showed up. They had moved to New York to be in this scene, and they kind of bounced off it, or they didn't know what to do. And I wish there was a welcoming committee and something I should have done, or
Nah.
just I know of just nerdy, nice guys who are in the city, and it's like I want to introduce you to everything going on in New York.
The best thing you could do
Hmm?
is to like have a friend with their roots firmly planted here already.
Yes, definitely.
'Cause
Which is what I had.
Yeah, good. I mean, that's good that you had that. Who was it?
You, Richie,
Oh yeah, Richie.
not as much, but to a certain degree, Matthew.
Matthew, Matthew too.
I already knew a bunch of people when I moved to New York.
Yeah. That's true. And that probably did kind of help you
Helped
out.
me a lot. It helped me out a huge amount. I'm really appreciative, man.
Yeah, it's you know, it was a
I'm
pleasure.
also appreciative to everyone else.
Yeah, it was a privilege.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying that for anyone who has like machinations in their minds of moving to New York City, you know, it's good to have a friend here already, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's definitely, but yeah, the whole grievance with just
Yeah.
friends like fuck ups, you just want to get them to get their shit. The problem is, like, as you know, I'm like,
That's weird because it's, I had an interaction with a guy I used to live with years ago, last year, when he visited for a friend's of his wedding. We were talking, and he's got himself together. He got married. He has money now from crypto and stocks.
yeah,
He's in San Diego. And something interesting he said to me where he said, like, everyone I know either is a fuck up or they're really successful. And you, Carmen, are in between. You're a lot more together than I expected previously. You're just fucking around in New York, but
yeah.
you're not wealthy, which would have been cool. And not even wealthy, but like fully together, but you're not getting worse. You've gotten better. Not majorly better, but you've gotten better. And I thought that was very interesting to
So
hear.
you see what I mean when I say fuck the Sigma grind set, fuck the grind set mentality. It's all about maintenance, maintaining harmony, alignment. You know, fuck like trying to be the strongest, most optimized. Just be the most aligned. Because when you're aligned, when you have nothing really unnecessary stressing you out, you're capable of so much more and appreciating life in like a more accepting lens. You know, through a more accepting lens. So yeah, I mean, alignment, everybody. It's very important.
It is.
That's what we should try to strive for. But yeah, man, I'm fucking stoked. Oh yeah, but by the way, what you were saying about the that's like such a heavy emotional burden to bear. You know, so it's like it's best to try to avoid bearing others like.
That's true.
But it's tough. It's really, because especially if you have history with them and you've already lost a few friends, you like, so it makes you like really not want to lose the ones you have left.
One friend in particular, I mean, other people just stagnated because moving to New York was a big move for me. And even if I'm even treading water in New York is a success.
Yeah.
I don't give myself credit for that. For even just treading water here is a huge success.
Yeah.
Or have people who have told me that weren't sure if I was going to be able to handle it, but I did. And wanting that with other people.
Yeah. It's not easy though, for sure.
Mhm.
There's a lot of pitfalls.
Yeah.
There's cocaine, big one. There's crazy relationships like with insane
A
people.
lot of people move to New York and they're just lonely and isolated, which is thankfully not something I experience. I'm very lucky, very privileged that I moved to New York and I had things going on immediately.
Yeah. Well, you're a personable guy, so I'm sure you could have.
That's true.
Yeah, you could have found your way.
Even if I knew no one when I moved here.
And you kind of did start off like from a base level, like, you know, living with Armenians, Persians,
Berbers, and then a mishmash of people, ethnicities, but heavily Latino. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then you fell into the crowds, so it's good.
And all of it happened very quickly. I was very lucky that it all lined up. Where the first year I moved here, I met a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I would say like it. When you come here, it really brings out what you're about on the inside. And
Ooh, interesting. Go on.
if you're about, like, I don't know, exploration, literature, art, something, you're gonna find like really like concentrated avenues to experience those things. But if you're not really into anything, then
Why would you move here and just stay in your room?
yeah, it gets very, because I mean, for a lot of things, like, so there's some like justified reasons, like they could have a certain job where
Yeah.
it's just fucking not possible to have like a robust social life. So that's actually the number one reason. Sadly enough, it's always because it's like some financial setback, or because it's like they're dealing with a hole that they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you got to go monk mode.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's all good stuff. I mean, if you could have it.
Everyone should move to. Well, not every. Well,
No, I mean, we've had an exodus recently,
Yeah.
I think, right? A lot of people moving out. I mean,
moving to New York has this benefit in and of itself.
yeah. It's just people, like, I've lived here my whole life, and people people are try to sensationalize like a mass exodus or influx of this or that. I'm like, man, I've seen it all over the fucking
Yeah.
years, and it's just the internet making it like all seem more potent, but there was always like crazy shit going on here.
Everywhere in the world, people move to the big city of their country. Tokyo increases in population every year as Japan's population decreases. The same is true of like Ireland and Dublin, Paris and France with Paris, the UK and London. Because there's nothing going on in any second tier city all around the world, everyone goes to the big city of their respective country.
Yeah.
We're lucky in America that we have. LA is probably fucked, but we have New York. America is unique because whereas there's only one city in a lot of countries, in America we do have multiple cities that you can go to. Many of them are. Everything that's not New York is second tier, baby, but still.
Oh man, don't let Chicago hear you say that.
Chicago's the third largest city, and there's nothing noteworthy about. I mean, I've been to Chicago. It's nice. Third largest city, and has such a little cultural impact.
Perhaps.
Like what? Transformers 3: Dark Side of the Moon, set in the big finale battle set in Chicago. But otherwise, you know, on the loop, there just aren't that many. There's more movies set in much smaller cities like Boston or Miami than there are set in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been to, I think some of the more interesting cities I've been to were actually in Canada.
I love Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, Montreal.
I've never been to Montreal or Vancouver.
I've been to Vancouver. I've been to Toronto, but I've never been to Montreal.
Never been to, and I've been to Toronto. I haven't been to the other two.
Yeah. All in due time, or maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe the world will
So
end.
that Canada actually manages to have two culturally prominent cities, and then a third city.
Yeah. Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Lots to think about. Lots to
Yeah.
ponder.
Well, we're gonna go out. We're at
Yeah.
what's our recording time at?
We're about there. We're about at the mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had
Any closing statements?
well, it was an interesting episode. I mean, got a lot of irons in the fire now.
Yeah, a lot of inspiration at play. Let's
Yeah.
go out biking this summer.
Oh, sure. We got to get you a bike.
Yes, I can also borrow my roommate's bike.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, well, thanks for joining us for this I guess
Exciting episode of the Terrorist Podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Chris Kim. This is the only episode I'm going to do this dumb bit. Go on.
No, it's all good. You always say that too, but it's all good. I never mind.
I know.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and
Good night.
hope to catch you on the next one.